So I heard that you wanted to do revenge. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another video, and today we're actually doing something a little different. This video was heavily requested, and normally around here when it comes to reviews, we usually review like shows or even fashion, maybe even sometimes some tropes or some media phenomena. But this time we're actually going to be reviewing full-length movie. As you could probably tell from the title of this video, it's called Do Revenge. And like I said, this has been heavily requested. Y'all have been asking for this for a while, and at first I really didn't understand why, but once I saw who was starring, I got it. And then I actually watched the thing and I was like, oh, I get it. I do get it. And we're going to talk about it all, or at least not all. And we are going to get into it. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising, because there was a lot in this movie. So make sure to stick around, and if you're new to the channel and like all things pop culture, TV, movies, fashion, commentary, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you never miss when I post. Also make sure to follow me on my socials, all at Imurgency. That's TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And while you're at it, I really appreciate it if you left a like on this video because it helps out so much with the algorithm. I'll give you a second to do that right now. Good. Cool. Awesome. Now let's get into talking about Do Revenge. So like I mentioned before, Do Revenge is a show that has a star-studded cast. Like putting Camila Mendes, who's known for her role as Veronica on Riverdale, with Maya Hawke, who is known to be Robin of Stranger Things, together in a movie really just sounds like a wild fever dream, but it works out so well. And then you also casually just have like a bunch of other actors that are from a myriad of teen dramas all in the show. But Ethan from Euphoria, you know, the one that Kat broke up with, he's in the show. Homegirl from 13 Reasons is also in this movie. Even Pope from Outer Banks is in this movie. Like, they got it all. And this movie was just a fun watch. Like, it was genuinely a fun watch. For those of you that haven't seen it and want a little synopsis of like what goes on, the plot pretty much revolves around Drea, who's Camila's character, and Eleanor, who is Maya's character, working together to exact their revenge against some people that have done them wrong in their high school. Well, that's like the higher level. This movie honestly does so much more, because you think that it's just one of these, honestly, I want to say homework, but I know it's not homework, but like traditional teen movie type beats, like something that you'd see on like Disney, you know? But then halfway through, spoiler right now if you haven't seen the movie, and the plot twist is just so good because it catches you off guard, and then you actually have to see the plot twist like fully resolved. It's not like one of those things where like there's a plot twist and then it ends. No, you have like an entire like 20-30 minutes left of this movie to see how this all impacts each other, and I love that so much. And honestly, I think it's so cool how a movie that starts off kind of lighthearted and fun almost turns into like a thriller. Like, again, spoilers. At this point, we're in spoiler territory. When Eleanor reveals her true intentions, it's kind of scary. It kind of gives like thriller. There's just something about Eleanor intentionally crashing into Drea's car and creating an accident that's a little scary, a little unhinged. Like, that definitely sounds like a crime. Like, it 100% is a crime, which actually, now thinking back on it, like, how did she get away with that? Like, that portion of the movie with the plot twist, unhinged. Completely unhinged. But I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's talk really quick about what this movie did right. First things first, I have to say the outfits. They were all really fitting to the different characters' personalities, and also kind of kept up with the times, where like it really does fit the fashion of like the 2020s, the era that we currently are in, which was nice. Like specifically Drea. Like Drea's outfits consistently ate, and I really do respect that, because you know, based on her character and her family not coming from a lot of money, she had to do something to get those clothes, because those are some nice clothes. And I feel like that really does play to her character very well, just showing how resourceful she is. And when Drea started dressing Eleanor, the two of them together, unmatched. But Drea as a character overall is very interesting and multi-layered, because I feel like it's just as easy to like her as it is to dislike her. And that is something that I feel like the movie does very well, is that it does not make anyone look good. Like, it makes it hard to blindly support anyone, because every character in this movie does some messed up. And for most of them, you see them own up to it, but like no one is inherently good or bad. And I really do love when characters are written like that. But Drea portraying this person who does not come from a lot of money, but goes to this really expensive school and has really high aspirations for herself, I feel like is relatable to a lot of people, except for the part where she's a bully to try and fit in with like the popular rich kids that she hangs around, which actually might still be relatable to some people. I don't know, live your truth. But I feel like there are definitely people like that. And I really just like how all of that really plays into this whole theme of like narcissism that starts building with Andrea because she's so focused on herself and her future and making sure that she's living this life that she like fantasizes and sets up for herself at the cost of everyone else around her. One of those people being Eleanor. And while Drea in her own right is pretty messed up and very good at doing revenge. Like every time she exacts revenge, it's always brutal, cold, and calculated. I'm looking at you, homegirl, with the Coke issue. Eleanor is a different beast. Eleanor is honestly kind of scary. Like she's a different level of unhinged because, spoiler alert, Drea actually ruined Eleanor's life. And this whole front half of the movie was just a front on Eleanor's end to exact this master revenge plan on Drea. And once that plot has twisted and you get to see how far back Eleanor has been actually planning this whole thing, you start to really realize that, yeah, she's a different level. Because not only did she scout out and plan to join the exact same school as Drea, after she found out all the stuff that happened with Drea's ex-boyfriend leaking her tapes, she then goes on to try and organically befriend her, tells her a whole story about why she wants to get revenge on this one person, fully telling Drea about herself. Like that story was about Drea, but she used a different name. Drea is none the wiser, and then goes and continuously gets closer and closer and closer to Drea as ways to learn more about her. Like, of course, to say in the movie that along the way, Eleanor actually did see like friendship as a possibility with Drea. She sure was keeping track, and that's the part that's a little wild to me. And I feel like we really do get to see like a completely different side to Eleanor once all is revealed, because you get to see how sick and sadistic she can really be. Like I said before, she literally ran Drea off the road, got her in an accident, and put Drea in the hospital. She also got in Drea's head and ruined all the relationships around her, pretty much made Drea isolated. And then, as a cherry on top, tried to get Drea to get evidence to take down her entire clique of like popular kids and herself along with it, to basically ruin all of their futures. That takes a different kind of mind to be able to conjure up that kind of scheme. Like that, there's levels. And just seeing all that come together was just so brilliant, awe-inspiring, was just so brilliant and so well done. Like I was really just, if this is my seat, I'm right here at the edge. I was locked in. And the good really doesn't stop with those two, because I feel like the rest of the cast of the show also really did bring their best performances. Like, this movie was just funny. Like, there was just something about Tara's little cunty finger claps that just did it for me. Like, it just did it for me every single time. To Russ, who honestly, I was really checking for Russ for a good half of that movie. But once Andrea started talking to him and he got a little bit more screen time, I was like, oh, all right, Russ. If you get it, you get it. Like, the cast overall did a great job. And honestly, Max's character, the main antagonist, Austin Abrams is his actor's name, really did deliver with Max's character, because Max was so awfully unlikable that you just wanted to see him fail. And I feel like being able to bring that out of someone and being able to get that emotion out of an audience just takes a certain level of acting and writing that not many studios and filmmakers can really produce, because everybody hates Max. Like, honestly, the scummiest of the scum. Like, he reminds me of every single prep school white boy. We all know one of them. There was one of them in my high school. I'm pretty sure there was one in yours. Like, you know the one. And there's just like a certain energy that Max had that actions speak louder than words. But that's enough about the good. Let's talk about some of the bad. Now, when I say bad, I don't mean like awful, because like I said, this movie was pretty good, but there are a few things that were kind of just like, And one of those things, I'm thinking about making a full video on this topic, so let me know down in the comments if you'd want to see this. But just some of the dialogue did not necessarily seem to fit with the theme of being like a Gen Z show. Like, clearly the cast is supposed to portray Gen Z. They're in high school right now, but it really did give like millennial writing for Gen Z, so a lot of the dialogue was kind of cringy at some points, or just didn't really sound like an actual high schooler would say that. Like, it sounded like something out of a Disney show, or like one of those typical coming of age ones, like, the TikToks where people like make fun of how like teens in coming of age dramas speak would say it. It doesn't sound like something an actual Gen Z person would actually say. Unlike the people over at Heartbreak High, so if you haven't seen that review, you should go check that out because they have really good Gen Z representation. But yeah, I'd say the dialogue at some points were kind of just like just a tad cringe. Now that I think about it, I think it's pretty much just the dialogue that does it for me. Like, everything else about this movie, I can't really complain about, except, actually, one thing. This isn't necessarily specific to this movie, but I feel like it's an important thing. But I feel like it's just like an interesting thing to note. This movie has a lot of speaking of like Gen Z representation, like there's a lot of different times in this movie where like some popular songs will be playing, and they're like the typical popular songs that are usually always played when it comes to like teen dramas where it's supposed to appeal to Gen Z and supposed to be like, oh yeah, we love that. Like, I feel like it's always Olivia Rodrigo for the locals. And it's always specifically Brutal. Like, I feel like Brutal is the quintessential, like, dramatic, angsty song that they always play in these sort of movies or shows. Like, I am positive, like, you can quote me on this, that Ginny and Georgia season 2, whenever that comes out, you know that, remember that scene where she walks up and she's like, well, you didn't see it the first time, where she's like, to Padma or whatever. Like, I am certain that they're gonna remake that in season 2, but have like Brutal. They're gonna play Brutal. Like, Brutal's gonna be in Ginny and Georgia season 2 just because I feel like that's like the song for teen dramas. But they also played Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. Like, I feel like it's always Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift. Yeah, pretty much those three. And while it's nice to actually see like songs that people in Gen Z actually listen to, it does sometimes feel like they're just throwing the songs in there to get like some relatability points. Like, you know, where it's like, oh, here we go. And of course, this is better, 100% better than whatever they're throwing on the backing tracks of like the Netflix reality shows, where the songs are just like narrating what's going on in the scene. Like, imagine the scene where Eleanor reveals that she's the one doing revenge on Drea, and in the backtrack, it's just like, I just got revenge on my best friend. Oh my God, there is nothing that can't be done about this. So I guess I'll take a Brutal or a Happier Than Ever any day over whatever the heck that just was. But yeah, just something I thought would be interesting to know. But yeah, overall, this is a great movie, and I really did enjoy watching Do Revenge. Like, thank you for the recommendation. Y'all really put me on. I gotta give y'all props. From like the humor throughout the movie to like the more serious parts to the plot twist to the very satisfying ending, it would be wrong of me to not recommend this. Like, I have to give this like a solid 8.5 out of 10. Do I dare say 9? Did I enjoy it that much? I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, now I want to hear from you. What did you think about Do Revenge? Did you enjoy it? How'd you feel about the plot twist? Let me know everything down in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, again, make sure to hit that subscribe button and to follow me on my socials at Imurgency. And if you haven't already, leave a like on this video because, like I said before, it helps out so much. But other than that, y'all, thanks again for watching. I've been Imurgency, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.